Just something I want you to think about. And again, you got to challenge yourself, and by doing so, you'll challenge others if you do the right thing based on what you've learned and what you realize people are repeating and how people are operating, so to speak. It's a fine line too. You got to understand some of it's going to touch on your ego and your preferences. And sometimes you fuck that up, myself included. So take it with a grain of salt, what I'm getting at. I was hanging out somewhere where they sell these little books that somebody wrote. And I like art. I like the fact that I'm a huge sucker for people who are doing the grassroots approach of, how should I put it, a mom and pop shop approach where, how should I put it together? I haven't eaten yet. Again, sorry. Fuck, what am I trying to spit out? I keep thinking of the Misfits and how they did all the promotion. They ran around and put up flyers and they were pressing their own vinyls and other shit along those lines. You take out the middleman and you do the work. You put in the work is what I'm getting at. So getting back to point, the books in question, they are dressed up as queer community, gay, trans, this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, okay, some of that's social engineering. Some of it shakes out naturally, sometimes. Yeah, that's just how shit works. Have you ever seen two dude dogs fuck? I have. Sometimes that just happens. Prison, depending on the environment, etc., etc. The point to this little message here, if I could spit it out, is, I know some of you are probably like, so spit it out, motherfucker. Throwing any of those extra flowery little bits and pieces in there makes it an agenda. It makes it divisive. It should just be a story. And if it stands on its own two legs, it would just be a story. I understand there's also an audience that people are catering to in order to get their work out there. But it still should just be a story. Another example. Recently, I think it's yet to come out, but there's a movie in the works, and it's called something along the lines of The Magical Society of Negroes. Nothing wrong with that, most of it, but that last bit doesn't need to be in the fucking title. And it probably shouldn't be in the title, in my humble opinion. I mean, these things are also a means to polarize people. And this is why our masters have urged people to think in terms of this shit. I also understand that some groups, hold on, I'm burning shit. Groups of people, ethnicities, minorities as it used to be dressed up, have been discriminated against. Speaking from experience, I mean, I look like a white dude through and through. I got a quarter Sioux in me. Most people don't give a fuck about that. Just the same, I grew up in New Mexico and experienced quite a bit of discrimination. That shit happens. Here's another thing to think of. I also danced through some police circles, authorities, so to speak. Dogs of the state in place with no other purpose than to generate revenue for our masters, which is another reason why I didn't bother with that shit. But, some of these little organizations, they are told to target people of race or color or ethnicities. They are. It's a fucking fact. It's just like quotas. These things do exist. And it varies between departments. Just the same. I mean, it's something to think about. Another example I want to throw out. Here in Portland, Oregon, you got people who are business owners. And I've seen quite a few, some of which actually here. I used to work with a gal who started up essentially a landscaping business in many ways, or she'd help you plant your garden, and they dressed that up as queers and lesbians or gays, only. That's who they were catering to, which is just fucking shiesty. Another one that I was originally going to spit out is women-owned businesses. I don't remember a bunch of dudes doing that, and if you had dudes doing that, it's just like saying black power, but the flip side of it. And imagine how many people would cry themselves to sleep or freak out about that type of thing. Neither are okay. Neither are necessary. That's the point to this message. But as always, what the fuck do I know?